You educate an individual, one woman stands tall, and in the Ghanaian landscape, in politics and in the literature space, she stands massively tall. Today, we're privileged to have an exclusive with Her Excellency Hajia Samira Bawumia. She's the second lady of the Republic of Ghana, a woman who grew up with a lot of culture around her. She had her early education in Fadama. Now, this is a community that is like a melting pot of different kinds of culture that shapes people like her to what she has become today, to want to give back to society, and also supporting her husband, who is the second gentleman of the land, but gunning to become the president of Ghana when the polls are done on December 7, 2024. I am Multi-Decider Sadiq, and this is also live on GBC News. Hello, Your Excellency.
Hello,
welcome to the show. You're
Thank you.
beautiful, and I love your dress.
Thank you. Thank
Good
you
to
for
have
having
you.
me.
It's such a privilege. I know that you're tired. I know that you've been on the trail. You're not sleeping. I've seen different groups of women who are at your back supporting you. How has campaign been so far?
It's hard work campaigning, but it's exciting as well as I travel across the country and I get to interact with people and they share their stories with me. They show their appreciation for what the government has done and they share their aspirations as well. And sometimes they're even able to articulate the policies better than you are. But I think the exciting thing about campaign is really putting you in touch with the people and getting to know what the real needs are on the ground. But so far, it's been wonderful. It's hectic, but it's been very exciting. The love out there is unbelievable.
And the grounds are not so new to you because you were born into a political family, the only female among your siblings, and your parents, setting the pace with politics. Does this come naturally to you, and has the terrain been being a woman, because maybe your siblings are men?
Well, actually, interestingly, my father was a politician. He's kind of retired now, but he didn't, we were not political. Okay. But what I find interesting, and now I feel like maybe it informs the way I think and act, is that the conversations in the living room would usually be bordering around national issues. So we will talk about goings on in the country. We'll talk about just national issues that normal household or ordinary household may not be having those conversations about. And as a young child, it didn't mean much. But now as an adult and being in this situation, I realized that it had a bearing on how I think and how I feel like we can impact the world in which we live, our environment, and be a positive influence to the people around us.
How does it feel being the second lady and be able to have such enormous impact on young women and, the entire country? You have a lot of projects. I'll come to that.
Well, yes. Let me just say that being a second lady is an incredible privilege. The privilege of being of service to people, and I don't take it lightly at all. And that's why I've done so much work as a second lady. I feel like it is a platform that can be used for good, and I'm using it as best I can. But I also say that a second lady is what I am, is not who I am. So those around me know that I'm still good old Samira, and everybody's like, you're so humble, and but I don't know any difference. For me, the position is different from who I am. So I don't carry myself thinking of myself as second lady. I just think of myself as Samira, who is in a position to do a lot of good and is trying to do as much good as possible.
Has anything surprised you on the campaign trail so far?
The love out there. Listen, people in Accra think Accra is Ghana, but no. You go around the country and it is amazing. Just a couple of days ago, I was in Techiman South and we went through the market and there was a lady, a trader, and I'm even getting goosebumps thinking about it, and she came and hugged me, and she was jumping. She said, "Meba was Saint Louis, Nyakupon Shramo, me kamene hwai, me suma sebi," you know. And those are the stories that inspire, and those are the stories that tell you that the policies, the programs of government has enormous impact on people. And she said even her child had asked her to come. They wanted the parents in school. She said, you know. So this is somebody whose life is about to change. And for me personally, I know that but for education, I wouldn't be where I am today. So going around the country, what really impresses me, it doesn't surprise me as much, but it's still very impressive when you hear how our government's policies and programs has made a positive impact in people's lives.
And this time around, it's your husband that's gone in to be president. You've been on different campaign trails with President Nana Akufo-Addo when he was running. How different has it been then and now? Becoming the first lady of Ghana, if it's possible.
Well, I don't think about it like that. I don't think about it as becoming first lady. I think about it as giving Ghana a chance to experience an incredible leader. And I know Dr. Bawumia, he's obviously my husband, but he's an incredible man. He's very gifted, you know. He's a problem solver. He works very hard. He's an honest man. And in the last nearly 8 years, in fact, all the years preceding, but especially as vice president, I've watched him solve problems, stay up all night, work 7-day weeks, you know, do whatever he can to be of impact and make a difference. And I know as president, he will be an incredible man. And so for me, that is what inspires me. When I was campaigning as the wife of the running mate, it was slightly different, but now the pressure is, because being at the head is different, but it's still the same. Once you believe in what you're putting out there, once you believe in the candidates that you're putting across, and I have no doubts that Dr. Bawumia will be the president that Ghana needs from this stage forth.
When you become first lady, when the polls are counted and the dust settles, what are going to be your priority areas? I know you're in the climate change, women empowerment, clean cooking, literature. What more will Samira Bawumia, Her Excellency?
Honestly, I haven't given it a thought. As I said, for me, I'm campaigning for His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to become the next president of the Republic of Ghana. And I will continue to do my best in whatever capacity I find myself. As First Lady, whatever I've done as Second Lady, I'll build on those successes. But my preoccupation, honestly, is getting Bawumia elected as president, because Ghana deserves a president like him.
Does it bother you when you hear sentiments like your government has not done enough and times are hard? And when you meet them on the campaign trail, what do you tell Ghanaians who think this way?
Well, we should be open to different points of view and different experiences that people share. So for me, if it's honest feedback, and yes, I don't think any government can solve every problem that there are, but I know that our government has been an honest government, has thought about the people, has put in place policies that have inured to the benefit of the people of this country. Has it been perfect? No. Have we had a smooth ride? No. People forget that this government has endured COVID. If you look around the country, for those of us who know better and are not politicking, we know around the world, economies have suffered because of COVID. Economies have suffered because of supply chain issues due to the Russia-Ukraine war. And as much as people want to diminish the impact of that, we know better. So we have done a lot. We have been honest with the people, but there is more to be done. And that is why Dr. Bawumia wants to step in those shoes to do more. So I appreciate how people feel. I appreciate people's criticisms, the honest, fair criticisms, but it is not, government is a continuum. So wherever you take it from, you do better. And I guarantee that Dr. Bawumia will do better and will carry us to the next stage that we need to get to.
You know Dr. Bawumia better than anyone, and since you're big on, gender equity and supporting women, giving them voices, what does it look like the representation will be like if you become First Lady and Dr. Bawumia President of Ghana?
Well, a First Lady is not part of government, let's just say that. So, but thankfully, thanks to our government, we've now passed the Affirmative Action Act. So that will guide his presidency. In fact, even without it, he would have been sensitive to gender. But now we are obligated to be gender sensitive in all the roles that are given out. So I believe that there will be a huge role for women in the next government led by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Let's talk about Samira empowerment and humanitarian projects. What inspired that? Where does the weather is going to get hotter in 2025? I know you do a lot of clean cooking, advocacy, and all of that. Tell us about that.
Where do I start from that? That's a lot to answer. But basically, Samira Empowerment and Humanitarian Projects is my not-for-profit organization, and we focus on health, education, and women empowerment. Now, my work in climate came about because I was made an ambassador, a global ambassador for the Clean Cooking Alliance. It used to be under another name, but so that took me out of the country to advocate for clean cooking solutions. And for a lot of people, when they hear clean cooking, they're thinking of stoves, but it's about energy poverty. It's about how we have women in clean cooking environments where they are not getting the adverse effects of smoke-filled kitchens, how we're addressing time poverty by making sure that young girls are not spending time looking for firewood for cooking, and cooking in a way that is efficient so that a woman doesn't labor 3 hours over a meal when she could be doing productive things. So it is a whole conversation which, of course, addresses climate issues as well, but it is also a gender issue. So it is my work with Clean Cooking Alliance that took me in that direction. But personally, my NGO, which is Samira Empowerment and Humanitarian Projects, we have done a lot of work with women in terms of maternal health, and that's one of the projects I'm most proud of because we worked with the Ghana Health Service and looked at where the worst cases of maternal mortality were. And at the time, we went to East Gonja municipality. That's where we first started. It took us over a year to do the data analysis and project development. And when we went in, 3 years on, zero maternal mortality in that community. So we decided that they had graduated, and now we are in Saboba and working with the women there. So far, we have worked with over 11,000 women who have benefited from our birth kit program. And in Saboba too, since we've gone, the good news is that there hasn't been maternal mortality. So that's one of the things that really gladdens my heart. We've trained women, skills training. We've given them entrepreneurial support so that they can take care of themselves and their families. I mean, we've done a lot for women. We've educated a lot of women. I usually don't like to talk a lot about what I do for other people, but since you asked, we have our education trusts. We've sponsored over 100 students through tertiary education. We have a library in a box project where we provide schools that do not have library with libraries, where we put them in a safe container where it's waterproof, dustproof, and the students can read and borrow books out of it. And thankfully, because of that intervention, a lot of schools now have reading time. We've done a lot of projects. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And then we have this BEC projects that we've been doing, where we support the schools that are not doing too well with their BEC. We train the teachers to prepare the kids for the exam. We take chief examiners to do the training for these teachers, circuit supervisors. We work with the Ghana Education Service. We've done a lot of work. I mean, I can't even think of it at the top, but for me, it is about how much can you do to impact people's lives. And every day with my team, we go to work and we think about, are we doing enough? Can we do more? And I have an incredible staff, young people, a lot of whom I recruited straight out of school. They are all learning on the job, and they are fantastic. They give off their 100%. They travel to all ends of the country to do our projects. And we don't just work in Accra, we work across the country. So these young staff of mine, they are all over the place doing God's work, and I'm really grateful to have them, because it's thanks to them that our vision is realized.
You're watching GTV Breakfast. This is our exclusive with the Second Lady of Ghana, Hajia Samira Bawumia, Her Excellency, and we've talked a bit about politics and her humanitarian work that she's doing. Your Excellency, congratulations on your book launch, and it's beautiful to see how you're supporting these young artists and authors. And I heard that there's been an astronomical increase in the public libraries. I dare say that your support and contribution has pushed this as well. But the ecosystem for writers in Ghana, what's the future looking like? But before that, tell us about the book and how proud you are.
Well, the All Ghana stage, right? This is our latest anthology. This is our second, actually. So I'm very proud of it. Our first one. So the All Ghana stage is the generic title of our anthology, because it's situated. We want the stories to be situated in Ghana. So we want them to be inspired by the environments that they live in. And the first one was everyday Ghanaian life. So we give them themes, and the Samira Bawumia Literature Prize is a biennial prize. So every other year we have the prize, and it is to encourage young writers to get published. So most of these people have never been published before. They have the talent, and we are bringing their talent to bear. Give them the platform. And I'm proud to say some of our winners, our previous winners from the first anthology, have been published again internationally, and they are going global. And that for me is at the heart of it. But I think deep down, I'm a lover of the creative arts. I appreciate that talent, that skill, that somebody can make something out of nothing. It's really impressive to me.
I know you've been a journalist before.
Well, I was a TV presenter, if you want to call it that. But I do appreciate that, and I think that also goes into my fashion sense, because I'm very proud of what we make in this country, and the talent that is out there. And so I'm always thinking, how do I showcase the Ghanaian talent? And the SBLP is one of it. So this anthology, in it we have 3 categories. We have the poetry, we have the fiction and non-fiction. So we have 30 winners in all, 10 in each category. And the prize ceremony was last year. So then after the prize ceremony, then we go through the publishing processes. So it is published by us, but we have partners who print the book for us, and it's on Amazon, and it can be purchased locally. But really, the story is about those who have produced the content and the writers who have contributed to it.
Amazing. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
And I'm sure we're looking forward to seeing what greater things the people that you're inspiring come out with. I just want to know also, former first ladies and second ladies have come and gone. What are some of the takeaways from the work that they have done that you appreciate and love the most?
Oh, I think it's worth saying that almost every former first lady has done something significant, some more than others, but nonetheless something that is worth mentioning. And so that inspires the work I do. It's almost required of us that we use the platform to do some good. But I think the most important lesson I've learned is that it is a lot of hard work to put something forth or to be impactful. But it seems like a lot of the work dies with the position, or the interventions that they bring die with their position. So as soon as they leave office, then their NGOs are not functioning as well. So we are modeling ours to be resilient and to be sustainable, because the impact that we are making should not end, So that is one lesson that I would have learned. But of course, I'm also inspired by the good work that they've done.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. I'm sure that Ghanaians will follow you keenly still on the campaign trail and the lead up to the election. If there's something you want to leave Ghanaians with, I'll give you a minute.
Well, thank you very much for having me, and thank you so much for tuning in today. And I'd just like to say that in the last 8 years, we've worked hard to serve the people of this country, to solve problems, and there's a lot more to be done. And I want you to trust His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia with the mantle. He's an honest man. He's a hardworking man. He's an intelligent man who will bring bold solutions for this country. And I know that with his leadership, this country will move leaps and bounds. So I'm thanking you, and I'm hoping on December 7th, you will vote for the New Patriotic Party.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Thank
It's been
you.
quite a pleasure. We've been speaking to the Second Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency Hajia Samira Bawumia, who has been keenly on the campaign platforms, campaigning to get her husband elected as the next president of Ghana come December 7, 2024. We've talked quite a lot. You can find this on GTV Ghana, on social media, everywhere. I am Multi Decider Sadiq. Thank you for staying tuned. We're back with more.